In this first look video from InfluenceWP, we are checking out a WordPress plugin called WP Fusion. As it shows here on my screen, it is a marketing automation solution for WordPress. It's an all-in-one solution to deeply integrate WordPress with your CRM and email marketing tools. Before we poke around the website here a bit and look at the actual solution together, just a quick bit of housekeeping. First look videos like this one are for products and services that we have no prior experience with. They show vendors how new users experience their website, products, and services for the very first time. These videos are unedited, high-level introductions that are not paid for, they're not sponsored, and they contain no affiliate links. If you would like videos like this or other types of videos created for your business, go to influencewp.com/partners and request your free lifetime partner membership. And we want to thank WP Fusion for being an InfluenceWP partner. So if you go over to our website, influencewp.com, find the deals, do a search for WP Fusion, and grab an exclusive deal. Okay, so let's poke around this website. I typically dive right down into the footer and just see what we need, unless something catches my eye. Right away, something catches my eye, and we see just how many integrations there are. Over 100 plugins that they integrate with, whether it's leading CRM systems or marketing automation systems. Just a huge, huge list. And then if we click this link right here, it looks like we're going to see a comprehensive list of all of them. Okay, common use cases for integrations: connect anything to anything without a developer. So common use cases, again, control access to content, track purchases and subscription statuses, send form submissions to your CRM, and recover abandoned carts. Here's an automation section: stop wasting time with repetitive tasks. Common use cases: engage students based on course progress, track last logins and stale accounts, email customers based on purchase history, award badges and achievements using timers and logic. And then we have a synchronization section, which is your customers always staying in sync. So data, customer data in sync with your other platforms, your other solutions. Common use cases: collect extended user profile data, display CRM data within WordPress, update lifetime values and order numbers, sync user accounts between sites. That's a really cool feature. Okay, we found ourselves here in the footer. I want to look at, they do have an affiliates program if that's something you're interested in. I want to look at, what do I want to look at here? Documentation, changelog, the About Us page. And let's go back up here into the header and see what's up there. Let's check out the feature list, just one more, see if there's anything special listed in there. I do want to look at the add-ons, and you'll see why here in a second, or talk about them, I should say. All right, I think we have everything else pulled up. Documentation, we have that pulled up, yeah. Okay, really nice documentation from what I reviewed before hitting record. So if I do a search here, let's just see sync contact fields. Let's check out that document. So we see very, very thorough documentation. Nice search feature, thorough documentation, winning combination. I'm going to move that over to my other monitor in case we need to reference that. Looking at the changelog here, we see a very active changelog. And one thing I really love to see is dates alongside the version. So really, really good stuff. Very active changelog. Good to see. On the About page, we have a history of WP Fusion, core values, and then, as I always like to see, faces with names. Here's Jack Arturo, the founder. He's the gentleman that I have spoken with to get this partnership off the ground with InfluenceWP. If you've been in WordPress for any length of time, you will probably have heard of Jack. Great guy, super generous, easy to chat with, just very, very easy partnership to get off the ground. Thanks to Jack. So, and then we see here the rest of the powerful team behind this solution. All right, so here's the features page. I want to see if there's just anything else mentioned besides what's on the home page. Okay, so here we have some screenshots, and it looks like, okay, so it says screenshots with like a description, kind of like, yeah, like some use cases for this. So that's really cool. Create a bidirectional sync between your WordPress fields and custom fields in your CRM. Control the visibility of Gutenberg blocks using CRM tags, and so on and so forth. So they give you some use cases there and some screenshots. Okay, here are the add-ons. Now I don't have access to these as part of my part of the partnership with WP Fusion, so I can't show you this stuff. But just know that they have abandoned cart tracking, enhanced e-commerce, media tools, event tracking, stuff to do with login. So let's see, login add-on tracks stale user accounts by applying tags to your CRM after a period of inactivity. Okay. And then webhooks. So with webhooks add-on lets you send data to Zapier, however it is that you like to say it, or another third-party service based on user events in WordPress. Okay. So again, I can't show you those, but just know that those are available. I think it's in the next plan up. So if you go to the pricing tables, you'll see them clearly. Okay. And here are the add-ons mentioned again. So we'll go ahead and skip that. Yeah, again, WP Fusion, the website is WP Fusion. So WP and then FUSION.com, just as it sounds, WPFusion.com. So go check out the website for yourself, poke around, see what you see. But let's go ahead and look at the solution together. On this site, I have the latest version of WordPress, the default 2025 theme. For plugins, I have MailPoet and MailPoet Premium. Now, the only reason this, it's not to show favoritism towards MailPoet in this case. I've done a number of videos that highlighted them. It's just because I did a video for MailPoet not that long ago, and I just left the plugin in there. So it's the CRM email marketing tool that I currently have installed on this test site. So I'm just going to keep rolling with it. If WP Fusion didn't have an integration with it, I would have found something else, but it integrates with MailPoet. So I thought I would just keep rolling with that. I also have WooCommerce activated, WooCommerce subscriptions, and WP Fusion. So what I'm going to hopefully do, like I did in another video for a similar solution, is to see what I can do when someone signs up for a subscription for WooCommerce and then cancels. Okay. Adding them to a list and removing them from a list. All right, so that's what we have. Let's go to the settings of WP Fusion. So you can get to it here in the plugin table by clicking settings. I also know it's under here, under settings, and then WP Fusion. All righty, so we start off in the general settings tab, and we're looking at this for first time, so this is going to be all the defaults, obviously. First up is automatically create contact records for new users. Create new contacts in MailPoet when users register in WordPress. Okay, so this is important because if I go over here to MailPoet and I go to automation, I look at the templates. Let's go to welcome here, filter by welcome. Let's say welcome new users. Okay, maybe we want to do that, but maybe we want to look at, let's create a custom automation here. So add trigger, let's say WordPress user registers. Okay, let's add them to a list, and then you can choose your list. Okay, you can set up an automation that says when they cancel or whatever, ask for their WordPress account to be completely deleted for GDPR reasons or whatever, you could then remove them from the list. You could do that if you want. But this is made possible by MailPoet Premium. So what we're going to look at this as is if we don't have that option. Okay, so if we come in here, maybe you've signed up for the free version of MailPoet, which is a very generous tier, by the way. And let's say you didn't purchase MailPoet Premium, but you've been turned on to WP Fusion. We can do the same thing in WP Fusion that we can do in MailPoet Premium. I don't know if it's a one-to-one match or if I know WP Fusion does other things, obviously, because it's not just specifically built for MailPoet. It's built with that in mind. It's built for a lot of CRMs. With that in mind, what I do want to show you is, let's go back over here. Let's go to setup, and I'm going to let's do this. Let's go to advanced. I'm going to reset all my settings. Where are we at here? How do I reset? Here we go. I'm going to reset everything. Yeah, that's cool. Let's go ahead and just reset everything. Let me go over to WP Fusion and grab my license key real quick. I'll license this back up. I don't even actually think I need to license it for what we're doing here. But what I want to show you here is under, when you first go to WP Fusion, you're going to get this right here. And I'd already licensed it up and chosen MailPoet. So I'm circling back now to show you this. Okay. So you license it up. Let me go ahead and do that. Okay. It doesn't obfuscate my key. It's okay. Big deal. No big deal. Okay. So you select your CRM, but look at all of the options here. There's just tons. So I'm just going to do a search for MailPoet, connect, loading, syncing. Cool. All right. So that's that. And then you click save and then it reloads this settings page. Okay. So my point there is that we're going to use WP Fusion to do what MailPoet Premium would have done, right? So by default, we're going to create contacts in MailPoet when a new user registers with WordPress. Okay, I'm going to select the list. I don't want to assign them to the newsletter because they haven't subscribed to the newsletter. So I'm going to go back into MailPoet, lists. I'm going to create a new list. Let's just call this, let's call it Fusion. Okay, save that. Let's go back into WP Fusion, refresh our settings. Let's click save here and see if that gets it going. Nope. Maybe we need to do a sync. Let's click on this up here, see if this does it. Refresh available lists and fields. Let's refresh again. There we go. That's why we do these videos, right? This is what a regular user is going to face. Okay, so when a new user to WordPress registers, they're going to be signed to this test list. This is just a test list called Fusion. Okay, let's just save our changes there. Let's go into our users. Let's go over here. I'm going to open a new browser. We'll just go with Brave, just for the fun of it. And I'm going to come over here in Brave, and I'm just going to register. Okay, so I registered that account. Let's go ahead and refresh the users table. There we go. Now let's go over and refresh MailPoet. Here's the Fusion list. We can view our subscribers. And there we go. So we see that I was added to that list automatically. It does come up as unconfirmed. So you have to work through what you want to do there. Unconfirmed in MailPoet means they have not confirmed via their email yet they want to actually be part of this list. Okay. So you have to take that into account and do what you need to do accordingly for your business in that area. So right now, if I was to go to my email, I'm going to have the option to confirm. So again, just know that this option is available and set this up accordingly for your business. Okay, because some people, when they get the email, they might be like, why am I getting this? So think about that. MailPoet configuration, confirmation emails. So if you want to send out the confirmation emails through MailPoet, which I probably would in this case, I would check that box. Okay. And then it's going to use like the email templates from MailPoet to send that out. I'm going to pull up my Gmail on my other screen and just see what I can see. So bear with me 1 second. Maybe we can try it again and see if we can see what that template looks like from MailPoet. All right, I'm just getting logged in here. Of course, this is going to take me a bit. Here we go. All right, here we go. You can't plan for everything when you do these videos. As much as you try. I would like to know that I have to be logged into every single thing I need to be logged into, but it just doesn't happen that way. Okay, so I'm getting logged into my email now. Okay, here we go. So I did not get I did not get any emails for that. So with this check, this confirmation emails check, maybe we try it again and see what we get. So I'm going to delete this user, which in turn is going to remove them from MailPoet. Okay, so that's cleaned back out. All right, so let's try this again. So on my other screen, I'm just going to register as a new user again. All right, that's done. Let's go to the users. There we go. Let's refresh MailPoet. There we go. It shows I am in the Fusion list. That's good. Let me check my email. And that is so far nothing. Let's go over to MailPoet. Just make sure I have this thing set up to, oh, that's why it's not going to go. Okay. I can't show you. Yeah, I don't have it set up to send transactional emails out. It's looking for an SMTP. I need to set that up actually. Okay. So we can just assume that it went out. If you want to send it out through MailPoet, you could do it that way. Okay. Let's just go ahead and move on. So the next item up here is content restriction. We're not going to get into this. We're not going to get into a lot of this because this is just a high level introduction. And I want to get over to signing up for a subscription and then canceling. But just know that you can restrict content on your WordPress website using WP Fusion, using tags. You tag certain users. It tells them they're able to access certain things. So think of like a membership site, so to speak. And then you have all kinds of settings around that. Site lockout lets you restrict access to all pages of your site if a user they're part of a specific list. Again, tagging and all that stuff. But you could lock down your site. There's SEO, show an SEO excerpt of your restricted content to search engine spiders. So just know there's SEO options for excerpts there. We're not going to get into webhooks either, but those are little bits of data that communicate with your site and other things off your site, depending on what solutions you're using. We're not going to get into that here. I know with MailPoet, there's no actual webhook available. There's no functionality available, so we can't even look at that. Imported users, these settings apply to users imported either via a webhook, the import users tool, or from a Thrivecart success URL. So we're not going to get into imported users either, but just know there's options there. Going back up here to this general settings, we see synchronized content data. By default, push is enabled. So it's going to sync profile updates and custom field changes to the user's contact record in MailPoet. So whatever the user changes, so in this case, let's go into my account. Whatever I change in here is going to sync over to MailPoet is what that means. And that's enabled by default. These down here, login list sync and login meta sync, these have to do with webhooks again. But MailPoet again doesn't have that functionality. So as it says here, this is only necessary if you are applying lists via automation in MailPoet, which we're not doing. We're doing the automation in WP Fusion in this particular example. So that's the case for both of these. So we don't even need to touch those. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and save changes just in case I haven't. Moving over to the contact fields. So this is what WP Fusion detects out of the box. And it's based on what plugins that you have installed on your site. So right off the top here, we've just got the default, which is first name, last name, email address, standard stuff. Moving down here, Google Analytics and lead source tracking. So I'm not actually sure where that is pulling from. I'd have to look at that a bit more because I'm not sure what plugin I have installed. Maybe that's just a default regardless. Maybe somehow something else is pulling that in here from one of these other plugins. I'm not really sure. But from my understanding is that what you see here is like what's on your site and being detected. For example, WooCommerce customer data. And you just come in here, first name, right? Let's map that to the first name. Very simple stuff. Last name, and so on and so forth. Down here, WooCommerce order, same thing. Map it, map it. You see there's no first name there, so obviously you wouldn't want to map that to the first name. Okay, WooCommerce Subscriptions is on here and detected. So again, that is what it is. Down here, this WP Fusion will also scan your WP underscore user meta table in your database. And this is basically down here the things that are you have to do some extra work on that may not actually be supported, and you need some developer as a developer situation. All right. I think you can add custom fields though, from what I read. I'm just not sure. Let's see if we can find this out here. So that's syncing. Let's see here. Yeah, left column are all the fields that WP Fusion has detected in WordPress. On the right column, drop downs where you can select a corresponding custom field in your CRM. Which fields are available? The fields that are available for sync depend on the plugin. Here we go. You have installed. Each of WP Fusion's plugins integrations has the ability to detect fields for that plugin. The fields WP Fusion can sync with your CRM relate to a specific user on your site, not a custom post type or other related content. Generally, these would be standard fields like billing address with WooCommerce, as well as custom fields. For example, custom fields with Ultimate members. Okay. So if we go back here, let's say WooCommerce, for example, like a WooCommerce customer. I'm not sure how this all syncs up or why these are all grayed out. Okay, we'll go ahead and skip that for now. Let's go over to integrations. Maybe there's something here that just needs to be triggered. Oh yeah, this might be it because it's showing us red here. WP Fusion has detected and loaded compatibility modules for the plugins listed below. Click on each to learn how to make the most out of each integration. Okay, WooCommerce subscription allows you to automatically tag customers in your CRM at purchase. Okay, this is what I wanted to test out. WP Fusion also adds a new settings panel to all WooCommerce products where you can configure tags to be applied at purchase and based on subscription status. All right, let's go check out a subscription product. Let's go to products, subscription product, WP Fusion. Okay. Yeah, okay. So when purchased, I want to apply for testing. Let's do this. Let's do MailPoet, lists, sub sign up, new list, sub cancel. All right, let's go over here to our product. Let's refresh this page. WP Fusion. When someone purchases this subscription, we're going to, okay, it's not in there yet. Maybe we need to sync. Okay, we probably need to sync. So let's see where we can sync this up. Refresh available lists and fields. I don't know if this is going to do it or not, but we'll just try this out. Go back to our product and refresh. WP Fusion, select list. There we go. All right, so when someone signs up for this subscription, we're going to add them to the sub sign up. Apply list when refunded. Okay, sub cancel. Apply list when transaction failed. We're not going to do any of that, but you could add them to a list that maybe retries to send later, to let them know their transaction failed, or maybe it gets sent to you, the admin, somehow, or you can follow up to you there. Okay, so actually look, there's another section. Okay, apply list when purchased, sub sign up. Let's skip the list when refunded. No, you know what? That actually makes sense. Let's do sub cancel. Subscription, remove list. Remove original list above when the subscription is canceled. Okay, maybe we'll go with that. So they sign up, they get the sign up list. Remove original lists above when the subscription canceled, put on hold, or expires. Okay. I would think canceled, we want to remove them here. When it says remove original list, that kind of makes me think it's going to remove the entire list over in MailPoet. Okay, but you have a lot of options here. Payment failed, put on hold, canceled, pending cancellation, expired, free trial over. Oh, here's your subscription fields. Subscription ID. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and save this. Okay, subscription field, subscription ID, subscriptions ID. I'm not sure what you're supposed to do here when all you can select for each of these is email, first name, and last name. That's got to be a MailPoet thing, right? So MailPoet, how would we even do this? You can't add fields there. If you go into subscriber, this is all you get: email, first name, last name. Yeah, I'm not even sure here. Let me activate premium. I don't think premium does it either. I might just be completely having a brain fart here, but I just don't think you can. The subscriber is okay. Yeah. I'm not sure where you add extra fields. Okay, deactivate. Maybe the only thing I can think of is that maybe this is just loaded by default right here, regardless of what your email marketing platform is, which is MailPoet in this case. So if I was to have something else, like say Fluent CRM or whatever, something else in that field, that would unlock more things and the ability to do more with fields. I think this is just because it's a MailPoet situation. Okay, so let's recap. When someone signs up for this subscription, we're going to add them to this list. When someone cancels, we're going to add them to this list. Let's save our changes. Let's open this site in a new browser. So here we go. Let's go to the shop page. Let's purchase a subscription. Check out. Yep. Just putting in bogus information here. All right, let's sign up. Okay, there we go. Order completed. So now let's go over here. Let's check out our orders. Our order is completed. Let's go check out our MailPoet. Let's check our lists. Sub sign up. Oops, sorry about that. Sub sign up. View subscribers. Boom. There we go. Okay. Now over here, whether it's I'm canceling on the front end as the customer, or I could do it in the back end as the admin. Let's say I go to my account, my subscription, I cancel. Let's go over here. When I cancel, I should be removed from sub sign up and added to sub cancel. Let me go over here, WooCommerce subscriptions, make sure it's canceled, pending cancellation, so it's not fully canceled. Okay, let's say it is canceled. Let's go back over to MailPoet, lists. So let's go to subscribers. Find this account, list, sub cancel, and sub sign. Okay, I think I get it now. Okay, so let's do this again. I think I found out some of those settings that I was a little confused about. Okay, so let's go back. WP Fusion settings. Let's see, where was that at? That was in the product. So we're in the product, the subscription product, WP Fusion tab. We are adding them to the sub sign up list when they purchased. We are adding them to sub cancel when they cancel. And we also want to remove the original lists above when the subscription is canceled, put on hold, expires, or is switched. Update. Okay, let's run through this process again. Shop, sign up for a subscription, check out, good to go. Let's refresh MailPoet. I am now, let's see, let's go actually make sure that subscription is going. It is, so we're good there. Let's go into this account. I'm not yet added to that. Subscriptions active. I didn't get added to the list. Let's go back to the product. Add to this list. Okay. Is it another situation? Orders completed, subscriptions good. Is it another situation about syncing? Let's go up here and sync again. Refresh MailPoet. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, we saw that it worked before. I'm not sure what's different this time. Okay, so maybe we do, yeah, I'm not really sure. Let's just start completely over here. Okay, we'll do this in bite-sized chunks. Let's refresh MailPoet again just to, okay, so now it's in sub cancel. Okay, let's try this again. Save. Okay, we're good to go on the MailPoet side. Let's go back over here. Let's take out this sub cancel for now. Let's just make sure that this first part still works. Okay, here we go. So we're going to sign up. Good to go. Good to go. Our order's good. I assume our subscription is also good. Let's refresh MailPoet. There we go. So that works. Now I'm going to go back into the product again. And I'm going to say, if canceled, I want to add them to the sub cancel list, but I also want to remove them from the original lists above. Okay. There we go. So now let's go to our subscriptions. Cancel. Cancel the subscription. Go back to MailPoet, refresh, and we should see sub sign up drop off and sub cancel appear. Nothing appears. Now, what I'm wondering is if this is like there's something to do with like cron, like if you're not familiar with cron, you know, like there's a scheduling system that runs in the background, and maybe we just have to wait here, and maybe it's just not instantaneous. Yeah, I'm not really sure there. Let's look at this one more time while we wait, and then we'll go back and check on a refresh. Apply to list when purchased. Remove original list. Yep. Add them to the sub cancel. It's got to be just a timing thing. Does not seem to be working. Okay, let's go ahead and continue on. Let's give this a bit more time. It doesn't need to be instantaneous because you're probably going to, as an admin, you're probably going to go do other, you know, it's just the timing is not, it doesn't, long story short, it doesn't need to be instantaneous. So it may take, sometimes cron jobs can be 5 minutes, you know, let's just give it some time. Okay, let's move over to, we talked about contact fields, and I think what we're seeing here is limitations. Not necessarily limitations, but it's a MailPoet situation. This is just what we have. And I don't know if I enable MailPoet Premium if that unlocks more stuff. Let's find that out. I'm guessing no. Yeah, same stuff. Okay. Okay, looking at the rest of the settings here. Integrations, we've got a WooCommerce thing we haven't looked at yet. So maybe there's something in there. Let's go back to the WooCommerce subscriptions real quick. I'm going to see if there's anything I need to check. Yeah, okay. Based on this screenshot, we have it configured right. By checking remove tags, you can remove tags applied at purchase when, okay. This is useful for revoking access to protected content. Okay, so like they're saying when they cancel, you could also remove tags, and then now certain content is protected because they don't have that tag any longer. They talk about variable subscriptions. Let me go back there. Did I see tags? Where was tags? I'm not seeing tags. Oh. Look over here on the right-hand side. Users must be logged in to view this product. So that's some more settings. That is really cool. So they have to be you could say they have to be part of a specific list to even see this product or logged in to see this product. Wow, that is really cool. Let's go ahead before I forget. Let's go back and refresh and see if something has happened. Nope, still nothing. All right, subscription status change. Put on hold. Okay, hold or cancel. Remove tags. Check. The original tags will not be removed if a subscription is in the pending. Okay, it is canceled. If a subscription is canceled and it still has time left, pending cancel tags will be applied. When the term of the subscription is over and the subscription status is changed to canceled, which is what we have here, the cancel tags will be applied. Yada yada yada. If a subscription, okay. Syncing subscriptions field. WP Fusion also lets you sync certain details about a customer's active subscription to custom fields in their contact record. This can be configured globally in a single set of fields for all products at settings, WP Fusion. Okay. Subscription management. When editing a WooCommerce subscription in the admin, you can also see a meta box indicating the subscription status with WP Fusion. Okay, let's check that out. Let's go to orders, subscriptions. Let's go into that subscription. There's that section right over here on the right-hand side. Process WP Fusion actions again. Any enabled subscription fields will be synced to MailPoet, and any list configured for the current subscription status will be okay. Maybe this will do it. Let's quickly refresh MailPoet one more time. Okay, let's try this, see if this works. Process WP Fusion actions again. Okay, let's refresh. There we go. Cool. So my guess is I haven't seen the documentation yet. Is that my guess is this is running as a cron job somewhere, and it'll fire eventually. Okay, so that is done. That is done. We looked at WooCommerce subscriptions. Let's look at WooCommerce. Just give me a second while I read here. See if there's anything special we need to talk about. Okay, order fields. Okay, attribute fields. Okay, it looks like in WooCommerce there's an integration section for WP Fusion. So let's go to WooCommerce settings, and where was that? Integrations. Go to the integration tab. That is not there. Am I looking in the right place? General setting. Oh, wait a minute. WP Fusion settings integrations. Okay. WP Fusion settings integration. Okay. So we're already there. All right. Let's just look at what's in here. WooCommerce integration. Apply lists to customers. These lists will be applied to all WooCommerce customers. Okay. So MailPoet already has these. If we go into MailPoet, go to lists, they already have a WooCommerce customers list that people are automatically added to. So I'm not sure what this would do differently. Maybe if you wanted to have additional lists, maybe that could be it. So where MailPoet just drops them into this one, maybe this, you could think of this as just a way to add them to multiple lists. Hide restricted products. If a user can't access a product, hide it from the shop page. That's cool. Again, we're talking about tagging. There's different methods for tagging in WP Fusion. Like, do they purchase something? Do they sign up for something? Whatever. You tag the user, then you could use that for all sorts of things, as we've already seen here. Email marketing, restricting products, restricting content. Really cool stuff. If a product or something is restricted, you can customize the error message. They've got some asynchronous checkout stuff you can set. Hide coupon field. Hide the coupon field if on the cart and checkout screen, if the user used with auto-applied coupons. Okay. So if you're auto-applying coupons, you could hide the coupon input field from the checkout and cart. That's cool. Apply lists left review. Apply these lists when a user, okay. So if somebody leaves a review on a product, you can dump them into a list. That is super cool. Email, WooCommerce email opt-in. Heads up, the WooCommerce checkout shortcode was not found on the checkout page. Oh, okay. Okay. So if I go to pages, checkout, okay, this is, I see. Okay, so if I was to come here, let's just say we grab this short code. Let's say I was to edit the checkout page, just get rid of all those blocks. Let's use the block editor. So slash and then short code, paste in that short code, save. So now we've effectively added that checkout back to the checkout page using a short code. Let's refresh here and we see what this section does. There we go. So this now opens up to us. WooCommerce email opt-in, display a checkbox on the checkout page where customers can opt in and receive email marketing. So you've seen this probably before. You go to a cart page, checkout page, and you want to subscribe to our list. We can actually take a look at that. So let's say I'm on the shop page. I'm going to sign up for a simple product, purchase a simple product, go to checkout, and we should see, here we go, right here. I would like to receive exclusive emails with discounts on product information. That actually is coming from MailPoet. This one down here, I think, is the one coming from WP Fusion. Okay, so that's the email opt-in. You have options to hide if consented, email opt-in message. So hide the email opt-in checkbox if the customer has already opted in. You don't want to keep showing that to them over and over again. You can change the opt-in message. Do you want to check the box by default or uncheck it? That's a personal preference. Email opt-in lists. So are you going to, once they opt in, what list are you going to put them into? I'd probably put them in the newsletter, just as an example. WooCommerce order statuses. The settings here let you apply lists to a contact when an order status has changed. So pending payment, put them in a list. Processing, put them in a list. On hold, completed, canceled, all of that sort of stuff. Super, super granular and super amazing, by the way. Setup is what I've already showed you. Put in your license key, select your CRM of choice. Under advanced, what do we have here? Limit user roles. You can choose to create new contacts only when users are added to a certain role. Leave blank to apply to all roles. Deletion list. These lists will be applied to MailPoet when a user is deleted from the site. Okay, that's cool. So maybe you want to keep a running list of people that used to be on your site that aren't for whatever reason. You can do that. Link tracking. Enqueue the script to handle link Click tracking. Okay, we're going to skip that for now. Just know you can do link tracking. JavaScript lead source tracking, we're going to skip that. Tags as CSS classes, add the current users list as CSS classes to the HTML body element of each page. Wild stuff. Auto login in tracking lists. You allow URL login. Track user activity and unlock content by passing a content ID in the URL. All right, we're going to skip all this stuff. This is, as it says, more advanced. We're in the advanced tab. Form auto login, Thrivecart auto login, set current user, debug mode, troubleshooting, system settings, go into staging mode. When staging mode is active, all normal WP Fusion features will be available, but no API calls will be made to MailPoet, and no lists or access to content will be modified. We've got some performance options here. API queue, prevent reapplying for list, push all. Oh, here we go. Enable cron, enables a cron task to start in the background worker in case any tasks need to be performed. Okay, so that's, you would want to look at that if you want to adjust all of that. You've got different ways to do cron too. There's just different methods. Here's the interval. So I think that's what we were seeing. It's running on 5 minutes. So this enable cron is probably server cron versus, the typical default WordPress cron where someone visits your site and then that triggers it. Logging, enable logging is enabled by default. So detailed activity logs, you could choose to only log errors. There's HTTP API logging. You can show badges in the admin area for unseen log errors, interfaces and settings. Enable preview with lists and refresh lists in the admin toolbar. Menu item visibility, enable the menu item visibility controls. So you can control menu items based on tagging and whatnot, I'm assuming. Hide additional fields. So hide the WP_user meta fields section from the contact fields tab. So we saw that earlier when we were here and we were in contact fields. So we could hide this section right here if we wanted, this additional section at the bottom. There's a lot going on. Awesome plugin, guys, by the way. Okay, so we talked about that. Admin permissions require the manage_options capability to see WP Fusion meta boxes in the admin. Okay, batch operations. You have all kinds of different batch operations for resyncing and whatnot. You can manually create a background task. Status custom code. No custom code is detected, so we're going to skip that. Reset. Check this box and save changes if you want to reset all the options to their default. You also have the option to reset all. Also erase all WP Fusion settings configured on posts, pages, courses, memberships, and elsewhere. Import, export settings. So if you have multiple WP Fusion sites, you've got like a baseline configuration that you love, export it, import it into a new site. You're good to go. Here's the logs. Depending on what logging we have turned on, we see detail logs here. Looks like we can grab a link, maybe send that off to support if we need to. I'm assuming that's what that is. Who the user was, what level, informational. We've got a way to sort by error, warning, notice, info, HTTP, what the source is, who the user is, sort, filter by ranges, date ranges. You could search the logs, flush all logs, export to CSV. Super, super cool. All right, guys. Again, first look video, high level overview, introduction. There is a lot to this plugin. As you can obviously see, it is as powerful as I've heard it over the years in WordPress. Like I've heard how powerful this thing is, and now we get to see it firsthand. All right. Hopefully I've done it some justice. WPFusion.com. Go to InfluenceWP.com, find the deals area, do a search for WP Fusion, get that exclusive deal, and I will catch you all in the next video.